Here's today's video pic, Sugar, featuring Marcia Griffiths, a tribute to the I3s. It's Marcia Griffiths, Judy Mowat, yeah, and Sugar joining them there in their tribute to the I3s. Wonderful. We move from that to a story of redemption. The Court of Appeal tossed out the corruption-related conviction of former Senior Superintendent of Police James Forbes, who was head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Community Safety and Security Branch. Forbes was found guilty of attempting to pervert the course of justice in 2014. In 2021, this morning, he joins us to share his journey and just what that entire experience was like for him. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning to you, ladies. Good to be with you.
Good to see you.
Good to have you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. I don't want to go back first. I want to stand in this moment and ask you just to hear that it was now done. 2014 and now in 2021. What was that feeling like for you, James Forbes?
It was surreal. It was a breath of fresh air. I breathed a sigh of relief. It has been a long journey. And as you'd appreciate, emotions don't switch like a light bulb. It will take a while to simmer and to get comfortable with and to have an appreciation of what's happening and that it has finally happened. I've always been confident in our justice system, the various layers of the system that provides the kind of protection that one would require. And our founding fathers were in their wisdom correct in making various layers of our justice system so that the thing can be distilled at a different level, a different reasoning, a different approach, a different viewpoint. And that took place. It was long and it was grueling. It was very often, a challenge emotionally, more so for my family, my children who had to bear the blunt of it. It took me time to reason with them. They understood what was happening. They were very confident, but of course disappointed. This is their role model. This is their hero. And there were moments when that would dig deep inside of me, that really affect my soul. When I saw the grief that they went through.
Yeah.
That daughter was not able to go to work for a week because she was not able to control her tears or her emotions. Those would have been deep wounds for me.
I'm reading this article that we got. I'm not sure, I can't see. Tanisha Mundo, staff reporter, I'm not sure which paper this is. But the headline says, "My soul was challenged." That intrigues me.
Yes.
7 years of this SSP. When you say your soul was challenged, tell us what that means and tell us how you were able to soothe your soul over that period of time, not knowing what the outcome of this would have been.
I mentioned somewhere else before that I grew up in a spiritual home. My grandmother, deep. Those who know or are close to me would know that it is my God and then my grandmother and then the rest of the world. So that's a solid foundation. I grew up around people like the Reverend Roy Henry, who was my role model and still is as I grew up. And you may have heard me saying that I thank the spiritual warriors, the prayer warriors, and I got that jargon from a elderly lady who met me at one of the churches I went to throughout the period, because I was invited by a number of churches, various denominations, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Pentecostals, the Baptists, you name it, the Moravians. I went to quite a number of churches, and I distinctly remember one occasion I went to a church somewhere in St. Catherine that I was invited to, and they were praying for me. After the service, a lady came out, elderly lady, could be in her maybe late 80s, early 90s, and she said, I really want to talk to you because, you're like my own child. When I heard the thing, my belly burned me. And she gave me a hug. And if you know me, I'm not much between the skin and the bone. And I could feel my rib crumbling. And she said, I'm a prayer warrior, and I'm praying for you. And don't worry. you're cool. Everything is going to be all right, son. That stayed with me. Yeah. And it is that challenge I speak of when I built a reputation for a number of years. Those who know me, I'm the go-to person in the police organization. If you have an issue, I've been that face. I've been that source. And that reputation means more to me than anything else in the world. My name, my image, my reputation is my life. And when that is challenging that way, when you're associating that with corruption, that's a bad mix for me emotionally. And that's where my soul was challenged. When that built up in the organization for nearly 40 years, at the time it was 30 odd years, of building a reputation, unblemished, trusted by the people of Jamaica. That was my biggest challenge.
Yeah. So 33 years, I think, and 8 months you had under your belt at the time, and you built this reputation. I mean, we'd see you, we'd talk to you all the time. You, in the wake of this case, had to leave the force as a matter of course. You say now that you, even if, they asked you, you would not go back. You don't want to go back, even though your record at this point is clean and you have been vindicated. I kind of want to know, what have you been doing with yourself in the last 7 years? You're forced to leave the job that you had known for over 3 decades. That was in your blood. So what has been happening with you since the case and between the time the case came and when you were cleared last week?
If you have all morning and 2 hours more and 7 days, I can start talking about it. Suffice to say that where I am now, if I should say, I am extremely happy and I am absolutely comfortable. I'll be making it will be the understatement of the century.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I am extremely happy where I am at. I am absolutely comfortable and God has been extremely good to me.
Yeah. We were speaking to a young lady before, and we were just talking about this idea of staying the course. What made you stay the course? Because there are many Jamaicans who, after a while, feel like, I can't do this. I can't wait on justice to see if it really is going to happen. And from 2014, you stayed the course. What would have made you stick with it?
The love that I have received from a couple of sources.
Okay.
The police force, the organization, has been extremely supportive. The rank and file and the officer corps, I have had their tremendous support. Now, I have a face that is recognizable, and I go on the streets, and the love that I've been shown by every citizen of Jamaica. Of course, there are going to be detractors, and I'd be naive to think that there won't be. And I'm happy for them. They have their place, and they serve their purpose. So I am happy for the detractors. But the masses of people that show me love every day I go on the street, the masses of people that encourage me, that see me and say, listen, you're our man, you're the person we love, we're always there for you. That's powerful for me, and that has sustained me over the years. And most importantly, I go back to them. I go back to the people the prior warriors who had their fasting and their prayers, and I don't know 90% of them, never met them. But I know they were there because I could feel that vibe, I could feel that energy. And the way things unfolded, I could see that there was something at work that was really positive. Where I am today, that journey has been extremely positive. It has been a wonderful, I can't help repeating it. It has just been a God-given experience. And God has blessed me tremendously with this journey. I've been provided for much more than I even think I deserve.
Yeah.
But therefore the journey was not difficult. It had its severe pain because I had this load to carry.
I
I
have a
had
tough
this
question
burden
for
to
you.
do.
I have a tough question for you. You don't have to answer.
Sure.
And a simple yes or no will work. I'm looking back at what would have started all of this. And there are two of your colleagues who were involved in this. In your heart, at this time, is there space for forgiveness, for understanding for them both?
You
Yes
did
or
say it
no
was
is
going to be
good.
a difficult question.
Yes.
I have had discussions with the Reverend Roy Henry, who is my spiritual guide and counselor. I've asked him to pray for me for this very issue. So I've sought help to handle a particular issue to do with individuals who would have known me well and who I would have a difficulty in having the most cordial relationship.
Excellent question, Delia Marie Harris. Excellent answer, SSP. I was going to ask you about whether you've been able to walk away without animosity and bitterness, but my co-host is a star, so she's... And I think we're going to hear more from you. Something tells me there's more to come. We will see how that unfolds, but we are very happy for you. You've walked away with your reputation intact. Not that many of us doubted that you would, and that you were a man of integrity. So we're glad that this has happened. Thank you for joining us this morning, SSP. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for the privilege of being on your program with you ladies.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Yeah.
What a nice story. A story of redemption. Justice may be delayed sometimes, but it's not denied. Former Senior Superintendent of Police, James Forbes.
All right. Up next, she was listed as one of the top 10 book coaches to watch in 2021. She zooms in after the break.